from lunch. So, just before we get into the next panel and our second half of this jam-packed day, do want to remind you that tonight will be the second edition of the Images Retail ME KSA Awards. Make sure that you book your gala spots and you can be there to cheer on some of the coveted names in retail. Obviously, good luck to all of the nominees, and you can enjoy that this evening. So make sure you go and find one of our team or the reception desk if you would like to come this evening. Okay, speaking of lunch, we're now going to be taking a closer look at the food sector. We are going to be talking Culinary Playbook, a journey through Flavour. So we're going to embark on a gastronomic adventure with some of the finest experts to discuss how the food service industry skillfully surfs the choppy waters of digital engagement whilst anchoring in the cherished harbour of in-person dining. That is a wonderful script, Anu. That was you, wasn't it? You've written that. Sounds lovely. Right. Let's welcome our panel to the stage then, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off with the Managing Director for KSA of Kitopi, Wentzel David de Wet. We have the co-founder of 9 Soft Serve, Abeer Al-Hashim. The CEO of Tim Hortons Middle East, Hesham Almekkawi. Head of New Business MENA for Infobip. I'm hoping I'm saying it, Kamal Kecho. Yes, great. And finally, Executive Chef from the Bell Group Middle East, Chef Heyam Abdelhadi. Ladies and gentlemen, please give our panel a huge round of applause. Our moderator is none other than our Executive Editor from Images Retail ME, Hanuri Da. So ladies and gentlemen, your next panel, thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. A good panel to start off, after lunch session. Otherwise, we all would have been hungry if they would have come on stage before this, and they would have to give vouchers or serve something from their kitchen fresh over here. But anyway, it's nice to have the conversation for now, and then you guys can meet with them post the session and discuss where all they have brunches and where all you can redeem your coupon as a SRF special. So I hope you guys don't mind that for our delegates. Yeah. So anyway, just joking. Let's start with Abeer. So Abeer, you are doing something very unique. You will have to tell us about it, obviously. But innovation is the key with you. And you're thinking about the customers of tomorrow. So tell us about the process, how you're making it customer strength-centric, and what's in store in terms of innovation.
Yes, hi. This is Abeer from 9 Soft Serve. Actually, our brand is innovated by itself since we started to launch every 9 of the month, since we are called 9. So 9 is about launching a new product every 9 of the month. So we have a lot of innovation happening, but to put myself always in customer shoe and anticipate the customer wants, needs, and communication preference. So usually we apply, I apply my findings and within a lot of creativity and out of the box thinking to follow the trend and at a time to be a trend setter as other times. So this is usually what is happening.
Amazing. So Hesham, next to you, obviously with Tim Hortons, you are innovating as we talk. So there's a lot of technology that you are building in. There's a lot of innovation that's coming in. So how are you tying the loose ends and making it extremely customer-centric?
Well, I think for that question, we have to start with the question of what business are we in? If we can answer clearly what business are we in, then we will be very clear on how we define the customer journey, how we define the consumer behavior, what do we stand for? Do we need to be known as a tech company, or we need to be known as a food company, or we need to be known as a coffee shop? Which one, right? And I think there's a lot of confusions happen when people just run after technology. Technology should be there in every step of the consumer journey or the customer journey, from even before the customer comes to the store or the customer intends to buy anything, right? So we need to understand the consumer behavior, his purchase habits, what did he do, and what are their preferences. And if we know that, then our offering will be built based on that through either the app or in store or even on the back end. What language should we talk to the customer with? That's very important. But the one thing that defines what we do is what business are we in? Are we in a fast food? Are we in a casual dining? Are we, what kind of, so an example, we have our marketing director here. He was on the stage earlier today, and he came to me a couple of months ago and said, what about we have order taking kiosks in our coffee shop? I said, technology like everybody's doing. Should we run after that? But what we stand for, what business are we in? We are in a coffee shop business where people have a human touch to it. You know, people don't go to the coffee shop just, they have, you know, there are people grabbing the coffee and going to work every morning, but in the drive-through system, they would love to talk to a human being that, to tell them, what would you like? And if I know in advance what this customer wants, then I would be offering him something. This is the customer touch or the human touch that machines don't give that. But on the other side, should we apply for use AI in our business? Absolutely we should. But in what sector of our business we should use AI? One of the things I think in our business people don't talk about much is the technology for the back end, for the manager of the store, not just the customers. I see everybody's talking about the customer's experience and how we use technology to enhance customer experience. But we need to use technology to enhance the manager's experience. The manager is suffering to have a piece of technology can analyze their businesses and tell them what are the pros and cons, what they have done good, what they have done bad, what are the opportunities, what we need to work on. Today, we still have to print reports in the back office. We still have to give it to somebody to analyze it. But if I have a piece of AI today that can tell me what's happening in this specific restaurant on a daily basis, then this manager job will be much easier. I heard on the before lunch panel, they were talking about data, and 20% of the decisions are made based only on 20% of the data. So if I have a tool that can give me 50, 60, 70% of data that I can build my decisions on, then really that's what the technology should be. So to go back to your question is how we do that in Tim Hortons. We are using technology for the sake of how we become the cafe of choice in the Middle East. Everything else has to come under that line, the cafe of choice, not just to run after technology for the sake of technology.
Correct, absolutely. So keeping that thought alive, Wentzel, your format is very tied to technology. Kitopi has a format which is absolutely staying agile, and you have already innovated the process. So how do you have to counter what Hesham had to say, or probably agree to it?
Look, interesting question, thank you. I think let me start with just explaining what Kitopi is about. I think in the rest of the region, we're well known. Here in KSA, the knowledge is growing around Kitopi, but Our model has developed over the last 6 years. We'll be 6 years old coming in January 2024. Kitopi started off as a ghost or cloud kitchen model, enabling brands to scale up across the entire territory that they want to scale up to. Now, we simply started that. It was born out of what came through with COVID, but we quickly realized that there's money to be made in this and brands work, so we started acquiring brands. So now we have over 80 brands across the GCC, around 20 or so here in KSA. Then we went on a journey actually buying food and beverage companies, with the last acquisition being Auj, with Catch 22, Operation Falafel, Awanik, and a couple of others that you might know. So our journey has really developed where it was a tech-powered startup initially, figuring out how to get from A to B quickest. You know, how can we get that customer journey down? How can we minimize the kitchen prep time? To what you're saying as well, Hesham, is how can we make it better, not just for the customer, but better for the employee to be able to get that kitchen time down and get the food basically quicker to the customer. So we developed a lot of tech products. We have our own point of sale system called SCOS, and we're a full end-to-end from supply chain directly to customer. We manage the entire process. So developing that, we have a robotics and tech facility in Poland and in Denmark respectively, and we create our own softwares to fulfill this need. And working with the aggregators, not just splitting it into two different ways really. We're not just a cloud kitchen. It's not just about how to deliver on the aggregators, which is important, mind you. You need to be visible. You need to make sure that you are the brand with so many selection now. How do we stand out so that people actually click on us? And then retaining that customer is so important. It's fine, you look great, but how are you going to keep that engagement and keep people coming back? That works on the delivery side as well as the dine-in side of things, which we also, we do invest a lot of time and energy in. So dine-in metrics and how you measure the customer satisfaction through mystery diner reports and being able to ensure that you get customers coming back and spreading that word of mouth, because that's the best means really for getting people to come back. We invest a lot of time equally into both of these areas.
Obviously, so we are discussing keeping that balance, and obviously internally trying to build a system which is good for the community, which is good for your people as well. So Chef Heyam, from here I wanted to understand about the environment perspective that you build in the work that you do. You have the sustainability built at the core. So how you're taking care of the environment along with your people, you know, from a very sustainable point of view.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Heyam. I just want to explain briefly about my role as an executive chef with Bell, because it's a bit confusing for some people. Bell Group is a cheese company, and I work on the R&D as much as I work on innovations and consulting for our F&B partners in general. So that's a bit of a summary of what I do with Bell. So it's a role between corporate and the kitchen. For sustainability practices, in general, Bell is very known to be a very sustainable brand, and we really thrive and work very hard on it. If you go on our global website, for example, you'll see how we've been doing that for 20 years. So I think in what we do, with the products that we do, our sustainable approach starts from the farm, from the sourcing, all the way to the operations in our factories in France, and then all the way on how we transport it, and then finally how we package it. So we're very known, for example, in the retail market for our portion size, which is considered very sustainable, because when you open a package of cheese and you have kiri in it, or lavash kiri, or baby bell, you just use the portion that you need, and you don't ruin the rest of what you have. We're also introducing compostable packaging in countries where they have composting, actually. So our sustainability really starts from sourcing, operations, delivery, and then finally to the packaging. Even here, we try to collaborate with a lot of restaurants that value that. We check in with them. We package food for the food service industry in a way where you can get everything in the package without losing any bits on it. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. So any of you will want to add to this sustainability part, mentioning what you do for your organization. Obviously, customer is that last mile thing that you have to satisfy, but obviously internally also there are a lot of practices that now organizations are actively doing to maintain their sustainability ecosystem. So anyone wants to take on that and mention something?
Hi, it's working. Great. Look, the sheer number of brands that Kitopi has means that we have to always put sustainability at the forefront. So what we do manage to do is we run the full supply chain. So purchasing in bulk obviously has its benefits. So managing demand planning and ensuring that waste is something to consider. This is another way to ensure that we don't waste what we do procure. And then another thing that we do is, because a lot of the cloud kitchens have so much complexity to it, we actually simplify the packaging. So you might find one bag for 15 or 20 brands using the same cup or using the same packaging across 20 to 100 different brands. This helps as well to be able to buy and scale, but on the other side of it, it helps to ensure that you're not buying packaging for certain campaigns and wasting it, which is a big thing in the food and beverage industry. You might buy there's a new Christmas campaign or Ramadan or Eid or something's coming up, and you create packaging for this specifically, only to find that the sales did not meet the expectations, and then you end up throwing this packaging away. So by unifying this is something that we do across all 5 of the markets, which helps.
Correct, absolutely. Kemal, for you, you have been powering brands like them. So you have been looking at the industry from the point of view of technology, automation, and how you can help the industry. So if you can touch upon that point and how you see it happening in KSA.
Thank you so much. My name is Kemal. I'll just start with a sentence or two regarding who is InfoBip and what is it that we do. I won't sell too much, I promise. I'll start with our mission statement that's been there for almost 20 years now. Our mission is to enable our customers connect with their customers over mobile. So today we provide cloud communication platform, and all these communication channels that you see and that you receive messages through, starting from SMS, email, WhatsApp, Viber, Messenger, and so on. This is what you can find on our platform. Again, with the mission of enabling companies to reach out to their customers. Mr. Hesham gave me a hand here and gave me a beautiful introduction to what he said. When does a sale start? Because much before a customer enters your shop, a sale starts. So this customer interaction and ability of customers to notice you and to start interacting with them and creating your brand presence is the first initial aspect of this customer journey. Our technology enables companies to be in touch with these evolving changes in customer behavior, to create personal connection with their customer over their channel of choice. Especially in today's era of, we're talking about AI, we're talking about super apps. People don't want to download 100 of apps anymore on their phone. They want to use WhatsApp and they want to talk there with their family, with their banker, with their retail company, with their restaurant, their favorite restaurant especially. So enabling people to get in touch with you on their preferred channel of choice, and at the same time giving yourself a quick channel to reach out to your customer, to inform them about what's going on with your business, will get you a long way. So understanding this entire customer journey, basically bit by bit. What we're trying to do in InfoBip with our team of engineers and consultants and experts is exactly this. Not just to give you a channel and you deal with it however you want, but exactly what Mr. Hesham has said. What is it that you want to achieve? What kind of message do you want to send out? Where does your customer journey begin? How do you want to monitor this journey and this funnel that the customer goes through? How do you want to measure their satisfaction at the end? What kind of analytics we can provide to you, so on and so forth. An interesting use case that we had recently that I have to mention here is with one company in Europe, which is in food industry actually. They produce different types of food. Through our platform, they made AI chatbot, which is there, I believe, just for brand presence. You enter the chatbot and you type in the ingredients that you have at home, and it gives you a recipe to cook something. Or you share your favorite meal and they give you a recipe to cook something, probably mostly with their products, but at the end of the day you can buy it anywhere else. So this is this new technology and implementation of new technology that we're talking about, that companies are aiming for. For decades, this specific company was selling their products in different retail outlets around the country, and they will be selling it for decades to come. But when they saw the capabilities of platforms like Infobip, they decided they could go an extra mile. And it's not only about cooking. You can ask the chatbot about the ingredients of a certain product. It can give you its health benefits, what is there, how much sugar, how many calories, and things like that. These kinds of platforms like Infobips enable a company to promote their services in a much better way. We are here today in partnership with Meta, with WhatsApp in specific, and one of the latest features, for example, that went out is so-called click to WhatsApp. So when you do online marketing of a restaurant or a certain brand, it gives you an ability to click on that ad, it takes you to WhatsApp immediately, and there you can do whatever you want. You want to show them the new menu? Go ahead. You want to be able to book the slot immediately there? When will they come to the restaurant? You can do that. You want to show them a video, how everything is prepared in the background, how it reaches from the field to the restaurant, to the table. Why not? I think these are some very interesting things that can go a long way. So these are some fresh use cases out of the oven. Obviously, restaurants are not huge consumers of these kinds of services. They're not going to send millions of SMS like brands like Al-Hashim and similarly retail brands do. But through different channels of customer choice, it gives them an edge to get closer to their customer, understand them better, and create a true relationship with them. And this data they can use in different ways later on, depending on the use cases.
Correct, amazing. So we discussed technology, we discussed creating that balance with human and maintaining the human touch, and we obviously talked about sustainability. But when you are running a business that deals with, you are serving customers probably every second, every minute, you have to also deal with a lot of business curveballs. You have to consider the macroeconomic perspective, you have to plan your strategies. So inflation has been a worry for all of you for the longest of time. So how are you taking care of it on an individual basis? Anybody can take it, and we can go one by one. Yeah.
I think we are living in a very interesting time right now in our business because all the challenges that started a couple of years ago with COVID, and then we recovered, and then the inflation or the global inflation happened. It's non-stop challenges that come our way in how we operate and how we do business, either on the consumer side or the demand side, or either on the supply chain side. So it's very tricky situation when inflation happens for any business. What percentage will you pass to the consumer, and what percentage will you absorb? And this is very tricky. This is the discussion in every boardroom probably for the last couple of years. How much can we pass to the consumer? Because we are not the only brand that consumers are using. They use the supermarket for their groceries, and there are inflations. They use the transportation, and there are inflations. They use the real estate, and there are inflations. So our wallet size, or our share of the wallet size, how much can we pass on a commodity, service, or product to the consumer? Is very tricky, and I can't tell you, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer here, but the way we have dealt with it in the last probably couple of years, that we passed some of that to the consumer, but we also absorbed a big portion of what's going on. in terms of supply chain in specific and the prices and the global prices for raw material and stuff like that. We cannot pass 100%. We cannot even pass a 50%. But we need to pass a portion that we are not feeling the entire pain, but we pass a portion to that. On the other side, we have to have measures to manage cost as well, because that's the only way to manage the rest of the part that we are absorbing. We have to have some sort of cost saving on our resources and in-house as well, in the back of the house or in the restaurants in general, in the back of the house, on the labor side of the business. So inflation today is affecting almost every single business that I know, either on the retail side or on the F&B side, or anybody that in the market today that they actually feeling the pain. And it's a very challenging time. We need to have some sort of a balance, but at the same time, it's not, if you ask, and I know a lot of people in the market in all countries in the Middle East, if you ask them about that profitability a couple of years ago or 5 years ago, we are still not matching that 5 years ago. When I talk the profitability, I'm not talking the absolute number. I'm talking about the margin. The margin is getting affected big time in our business. And if you look at 2019 or 18 margin, we are way off today because of what's happening globally and what's happening in the region. So every country and every company is different, but we feel in the pain, and it just needs some sort of wisdom on how we deal with it and how much should we pass to the consumer until things hopefully will get better in the next year or so.
Anybody wants to add to this?
Sure. I think you captured it beautifully, really not too much to add there, other than we do absorb a lot now because of how the Saudi market has shifted. I'd say almost every month it continues to shift. But because there's so much competition coming into Saudi now at the moment, it's more critical than ever to remain competitive. So if we do pass on this inflation to the customer, they'll simply go elsewhere. So it's important to find that saving, as you said, Hesham, elsewhere. So through optimizing on the back end, we manage to find and gather the savings that we need to ensure that for the most part, we take on this impact for now, with the hopes that obviously things will be brighter in the future with certain regulations that will be coming into play, allowing for things to be a lot smoother.
Correct. So after inflation, another pressing topic right now is getting more delivery orders than people dining in your restaurants. So that is also a pressing issue. And I have been talking to some of the leading food joints in KSA, and they've told me that about 70% of their daily, monthly orders come from deliveries. So, which is good news for Kitopi, definitely. But definitely, if all of you can just add on to this, how are you trying to bring customers in store for a dining experience? Promotions, any campaigns? How are you doing it?
Okay. Look, ideally, you'd like to have customers coming into the doors because the margins on delivery are a lot thinner than what comes through dine-in. So we are always trying to get that balance between aggregator management or spending marketing on the platforms and off-aggregator marketing, which is actually brand building and building that equity to ensure that people fall in love with the brand and start to visit the stores. So it's important to have a presence, especially now where maybe the love for ghost or cloud kitchens might be dissipating somewhat. There's this element of what is the quality that we're getting from these cloud kitchens, which starts to surface. So having those physical brick and mortars or those locations ensures that that brand equity and that trust is there. Now, how you market yourself on the aggregators is vital. You know, we were speaking, Chef, earlier about, you know, food stylists and how you catch that eye or the attention of the guest the same way you would in a restaurant. with the welcoming smile as you enter, you know, how the plate looks, how the menu looks. It's as important on the aggregators to do so. So you need to stand out. You need to place your menu items in the correct way to catch in both price and in the visibility and the quality of the food and images. So that's your, I suppose, you know, capturing the customer is one thing, but then retaining them is something else. And that's where quality comes in. And our biggest focus, you know, I think throughout F&B really is quality. So how do you ensure that you get the right quality of the customer at the right price to ensure that they keep coming back? Now that's balanced both on the delivery side as well as in the dine-in.
If I can add to this,
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
and connect also to the previous question regarding the inflation. As a technology provider, we're kind of in a tough spot. You know, companies are looking to cut the costs, and then they're, especially if the results you bring are not that obvious sometimes, you're probably out soon. So it's tough to stay there, especially in these times of inflation. But exactly what you mentioned for Saudi, I read the article the other day about Germany, like 40 to 60% decrease in people dining out because of the inflation. So the competition is even tougher. They will go out once, not 5 times a week. So it's even tougher to get them to come to your place. And that's where the importance of investing in these types of technology that Infobip provides or similar ones now gets even more obvious. Like, you need to use this kind of technology to build a relationship with the customer in order to attract them to come to you exactly in this specific and tough times where they really limit their resources. Where are they going to go out and how many times? And you want to make sure that you're there on top of their head.
Correct. You want to add anything, Chef Heyam?
Just in general, like I feel as like pointing back to this changing market and like how Saudi is opening up and having all these restaurants that are coming in are opening. It's very important to understand the gastronomic landscape of each city in the kingdom, right? Like the kingdom is huge and every city has different landscape altogether. If you notice in Riyadh, like people have bigger homes, have gardens, have help at home to clean up after them. Parking is difficult when you go out. All these things contribute to people wanting to order more in, and maybe they want finer dining in, and maybe they want the whole dining experience to come in. So for restaurants that had great success all over the world, to come and just assume that it will work because it worked somewhere else, it's also a big thing. Like, it's just, what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing a lot of energy coming in without sometimes any understanding of the market, not having presence in it, not having visited even, you know, and just putting in the investment. And from what I'm noticing, that's part of the issue as well, right? Like, it's, there's a whole landscape to understand, to see when to open, how to open. Maybe takeout is better for whatever name it is. So that's what I wanted to add.
Amazing. Abeer, you want to add on this?
Yeah. Regarding the inflation, actually, it's a nice experience to hear from Tim Hortons and Kitopi, since I'm a startup, and it's something new to me, and the challenges is new. But I believe that every challenge, you have like insiders in it, and you get to know and understand the business. So you need to dig into it and check what do you need to improve in order for the customer to come back, especially nowadays with the trends. So I believe this challenge can give us more understanding of our business and the market we are in. Saudi market is different, Riyadh market is different than the Eastern region, and the customer behavior is changing month by month, as I see. So for us, it's a challenge, but at the same time, I think that you can understand the market in this situation, and you know what is the customer exactly need and what is the target audience you need to focus in. Because like you see, the Gen Zs, or this is something that is new even to us. They're the one who's going out, they're the one who's spending. Families just stop going to the restaurants and have different entertainment options. So challenges are everywhere, but we need to understand what is who's our customer and what is the customer need in order to beat this inflation, I guess.
Great. Hesham, you want to add on to the customer preference changing?
No, I think that, linked to my first point on inflation. We obviously, as a natural sequence or consequence of the inflation and what's happening, is putting a pressure on the disposable income for each consumer and how much they are willing to spend. At the same time, is opening the door for a lot of competition and brands to really sell their soul in order to sell their product. And the amount of discounts and heavy discount to bring customers in, not everybody can do it. A lot of people said to me, you know, your coffee is great, but why can't you be like X with the price? And my answer is very simple. I can be like X, but that will take me away from who I am. And I have to downgrade my coffee beans so I can get it from where it's cheap. And I will not be giving you the quality that you are used to. So what I'm saying is, the minute we lose that as a brand or as a company, and we try just to go with the flow with everybody else, just to bring customers in, I don't think this is wise at the time. This is why I said it needs a huge wisdom for company owners and executives to really balance and to do everything from the major question I started today with: what business are we in and who we are? It's a price war out there for people to come in, but not everybody can do it, because the minute we pass that line and we match what other people are doing, it is the minute that we lose our identity and our DNA and who we are as a brand. I'm not just talking about Tim Hortons, but I'm talking about in general. Each brand has a personality that is known for, and the minute you dilute that you become like everybody else. On the delivery side of the business, I think it was touched on that delivery is a great channel to add businesses to your brick and mortar locations, 100%. But what is the right percentage? Is it 50%, 70%, 30%? It was said right on, it is the least margin in our entire business is coming from delivery, because there are too many hands in and there are too many people are in the process that is taking part of the profitability. So what is the wise level? You can go up to 25%, 30%, 40%. That sometimes is not wise. What is the percentage that you need to stop on that is giving you the extra 15, 14, 20%, but you cannot pass that, because the minute you pass that, you're actually cannibalizing on your dine-in and carry-out customers, which is more profitable, and you hurting your bottom line. So there is a limit where the delivery should go, but if you lose it, you need it for top line, but if you lose it, you cannot get it from anywhere else. So it's wise to keep it, but it's not wise to actually maximize it.
We are almost towards the end of the session, so just to quickly wrap up, I will want each of you to live an afterthought for everyone. One trend that is going to be the game changer in 2024, according to all of you, for the food service industry. Quickly in one line, all of you, one by one. Yeah, Chef, you can start, yeah. Anything?
I believe probably there will be more and more growing awareness towards seasonality in the region specifically.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, how usage of AI technologies in communicating and establishing a relationship between a business and their customers.
Okay.
I think with so many brands expanding into KSA, and maybe some of you out there would be looking to bring certain brands in, It's important to know the local audience, to localize not just the palette or flavors of the dishes that you're bringing in, but to ensure as well that the communication and the way that you get across this message, you have to spend a lot of time doing this. Too many brands come in and fail within the first 6 to 9 months. So I would really put emphasis on that.
Great. Yeah, Abeer.
I believe market research as well will be a very challenge and should be done from the people. And the AI, I believe whatsoever you have said is the same as what I have in my mind. So I'll pass it to Hesham.
Yeah.
Customer loyalty. I think this is what everybody is really focusing on right now. And in 5 years, we redid our app, Tim Hortons app. We just launched it 6 months ago because we had to add a lot of features. And the main purpose of that was to really change our loyalty programs to bring customers in. This is the legit way to actually offset inflation and not to go to a discount war with everybody else in the market. So loyalty programs, I know not just Tim Hortons, but I know a lot of other companies will be the focus for 2024, even though we started in 2023.
Amazing. I think we are just about there. One question we can take for the panel. Anybody who wants to ask anything, just one quick one to wrap up here. Anyone? Oh, I think good then. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
Saudi Retail Forum. It's a great event, and thank you for having us.
Another great panel. Thank you very much. We're going to get a quick photo. If I could ask you to stand in front of the tables, that would be lovely. Yes, let's have you at the front and looking directly at our photographer in the center there. Don't look too awkward. No one's looking, I promise. Fantastic.